H2O, baby. Ain't nothing like water. Ain't nothing like water at all. Do a little impromptu live. See if anybody come through. Come through. Come through. All right, we set up. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Do 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 do. I'm so silly. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, what's up, Crystal? What's up? What's good? Happy new month. Happy new month. Happy March. Happy Friday. Yep. It is a new month. It is a new month. And so I just want to come and shoot the breeze with the people. What's good? What's good? Welcome. You are inside of Le Chateau. Van life coming through loud and clear. I know that's right. Yeah, I just want to come through and just have a little chit chat. Hopefully drop some perspectives. Like your earrings. Thank you. It's my birthday month. That's what's up. That's what's up. Happy birth anniversary month. That is what's up. One of my longtime childhood friends, we're not friends anymore. I guess as we got older, she didn't like my perspective of life. But her birth anniversary is March 4th. Yeah, that's dope. So yeah, we're coming into spring. But I don't want to be on here long, but I just wanted to share once again my perspective, probably some unpopular opinions. I am Queen Unpopular Opinion, even back when I was Princess Unpopular Opinion. I'm a thinker and a reader and an observer of life and patterns. But for real, like the title said, I just want to talk real life, have a real conversation about real life. And as as someone living an alternative lifestyle, and we see alternative lifestyles getting more and more popular. I was thinking I was thinking as I was sitting in my front seat, how both men and women, not just in California, but in this country, in this first world country, real first world problems in the United States, when both men and women get divorced or separated or anything of the sort like that. There are a lot of cases of people who are on the streets, and some of who chose to give up their former life after divorce or something like that because it's just too difficult to try to maintain that lifestyle as a single individual. It's just too difficult to try to maintain all of those bills as a single individual and still have some sort of breathing ability, some sort of pleasure, some sort of decent food to eat. And in some cases for men, I've never been a woman who was a male basher. So I do speak very highly of men. Although I am divorced, although I had traumatic things happen to me in my life, I've never ever ever been a man basher ever in my life. And I've even had, some fake girlfriends get down my throat about that. I don't care. It is what it is. But there are some men on the streets or even living in their car because they couldn't afford to pay child support and their housing cost and eat. There are women in the same situation. And these are real first world problems. These are very real first world problems. And we see now van life being romanticized and, just sensationalized, and really the drama is really put on drama in a good sense, in a sense to make people want to live vicariously through binge watching van life videos, especially those who live on the road and travel. And one thing I know for sure is it's not all what it may seem to be. And so, real life is very real. Real life is very real for a lot of people out here. And some adversities, it's hard to bounce back from and still maintain, because when you have two people maintaining a certain way of life, that gets greatly affected when one person dies or the two people break up. Like, life changes drastically overnight. And so people have to make adjustments. And then age. No one's getting younger. No matter how great a person may look as they age, they're aging. They're still aging. They're still going up in years, not down. Dude out here screaming, "It's fucked up for everyone," is what he just said. This is what I'm talking about. These are first world problems in the United States of America that I don't think any of us should feel like we have the privilege to overlook, but we do. We do. We overlook and we turn our nose up at those sleeping on the streets. We judge and misjudge those living in vehicles. We judge and misjudge those sleeping and living in their car while it's still a car, because they haven't and don't want to transition to van life. That's not a choice that they want to make, but they can't afford what they deem as a proper place to live. And these are real first world problems in the United States of America. We don't see that as an issue. Even the fact that divorce is 56%, it's more than half. And then a divorce lawyer was speaking on, it's about 20%. He's a divorce lawyer. He said it's about 20% of those who just stay together for the kids. So then, as soon as the kids get grown or move out, they immediately get divorced. So that's 76% of marriages that end in a separation, a split, not till death do them part. In this first world country, I think we should see that as a red flag, a big red flag. The fact that right now in 2024 they say that couples making 150,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. These are real life scenarios right here in this country, right here in North America. Couples making $150,000 per year living paycheck to paycheck. because the housing costs are through the roof. So people have been turning to alternative lifestyles for quite a few years now. I started looking at it 10 years ago with the tiny houses in 2013. So this isn't a new phenomenon, it's just becoming bigger. But I'm going to keep saying these are first world problems. These are first world problems right here in the United States. And instead of us pretending that it isn't and turning our nose up at so called third world countries, where I know in Africa, they actually own the land and they build a compound out of concrete, not plywood, and they own it. And families and generations of families live there until they die. So instead of us judging everything and everyone, it would behoove us as a nation of people to at least, at least give a listening ear, at least, at least. If you can't do anything else, but I put a challenge on my YouTube, on my Instagram a few months ago. But if you can't um, make or buy a good, healthy, clean sandwich and give it to someone on the street, at least just share 5 minutes of your time. That's an irreplaceable commodity right there that anyone would value, because a lot of these people have a real story to tell. And like I said, there are women who are just, they got divorced and they can't afford to live on their own. Like they don't know what to do. They don't really have any skills. This is still happening right now in 2024. I talk to a lot of women who they see me and they see the comfort of my home, and this is what they share with me. They're divorced and they don't know and they ask me, "What can I do for work? What's in you? What's inside you?" And they're just like, "I don't know. I don't really know what to do or how to do anything." This is real in the United States of America in 2024. This is real life. These are real adversities. And these are real people aging, dealing with these things. And I think we all should care. I think everybody should care, no matter what your situation is. And there are a lot of van lifers with YouTube pages. There are some, let me not say a lot, but there are some van lifers, and I know a few that they're getting military income for the rest of their life for PTSD or disability or whatever. So they're taken care of for the rest of their life. And who's to say that this lifestyle isn't a way for them to make their money go further instead of paying bills? Because we know there are a lot of veterans on the street. We know that. We know this. We act like we don't. We act like we don't. But we know this. Right here in this country, where they became a veteran, where they became disabled, where they became shell shocked. I'm like George Carlin on that. No military that was especially men that were on the front line. I would give the military women, I would give them PTSD. I would give it to them. Okay. But the men that were at war, that had brain matter of people on their face that could have been POWs, no, that's shell shock, baby. They are traumatized. I know someone whose dad was in the war and he would wake up in the middle of the night grabbing his gun. Baby, that is not PTSD. That is not PTSD. That is real shell shock until he was in his grave. He saw different of his brothers' brain matter splattered all over his face, his helmet. He had to carry out his his military brothers after their leg had been blown off. That's not PTSD. That's shell shock. And they have that for the rest of their life. And they get out of that. And this country say, you know what? We can't do anything for you. And now they're out on the streets. And they damn sure can't drive. You don't want nobody behind the wheel that's gonna hear a horn or a siren and then just freak the fuck out. They can't drive. So this is real life. Alternative living in this country is it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get greater. People are only going to find more creative ways to live freely, because the cost of living who sees it reversing? Who sees the cost of living going back down? You know what I mean? Hello, hello, sincerely, Sandy. Oh, the sixth. That's what's up. Whoop whoop. That's what's up. Yeah, it's not going back down. So, um this is why I feel it's very important, um while we are of sound mind and sound body, to do the best that we can to prepare, with stashaways and just really taking care of our mind and our body, and not taking our health for granted. Um, you know, I think it's very important. One thing that I've said to some of my 30-year-old young women, and I'm beyond my 30s. I've been there, so that included me, which is how I came to this conclusion. And I feel like the 30s is kind of like a setup, because you're in your 30s, right? So you're past the dumbass 20s where you're trying to figure it out, but and you figuring out. You don't know enough. But your 30s, your light bulb, your mental light bulb gets changed from the 20s, right? So it's a little bit brighter, and you feel like you know more than you actually do in your 30s. In your 30s, you feel like you got it more together than you do, because your 40s let you know your 30s set your ass up for failure. Your 40s let you know that your 30s set you up. You should have been listening a lot more in your 30s to elders. You should have made it your business in your 30s to get around elders that have some sense, and be around them. You should have made it your business in your 30s to consume as much knowledge from the wise as you could, instead of thinking you know more than what you know, because your 40s is going to let you know that gotcha. Gotcha, for real. So, if you are in your 30s, it would behoove you to read a lot more. Read a lot more. Not any novels, not read some biographies a lot more. Um get into the self-development, the personal development category. Get around some elders. If you can volunteer at a nursing home, it would behoove you in your 30s to get around some elders, baby, because the 30s is a setup. It's a setup. It is a whole setup if you're not wise and if you're not careful. Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter what your personal or social situation is. I'm talking about this is all self internal. This is all with you, and the only safety net, and this is especially for women, the only safety net is being in a healthy marriage. If you're in a healthy marriage in your 30s, or if you get married in your 30s and it's a healthy marriage and it's a healthy man that you can possibly be with him till death do you part, or at least into your 50s, that is your only safety net. And for me, it's not even debatable. It's not even up for debate. That is that is my wisdom, and I'm standing 10 toes down on that. 10 fingertips too, because I know I've been there. And when I say I've been there, I mean even with all my age mate girlfriends, and it's just like dominoes. I've not seen that not be the case for anyone except for a woman who was married and stayed married during that time. That was the only safety net. That was it. Yes, the housing situation is insane and few are going to make it. Thank you for mentioning this situation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Few are already making it. They're especially as someone who created a business around working with people, as far as because what I used to do full time just for myself, how I supported myself was cleaning. But I have, it's just easy to say cleaning, but I have a really particular way, right? And so, which is what brought me out to Orange County, because I wanted a certain level of clientele that were making over six figures. And it was just a certain, I was also wanted only entrepreneurs and business owners. And that's just how I set it up. Like none of my clients that I had were um, employees. They all owned their own business, uh, a real estate mogul, uh, just, um, a partnering attorney or attorney that had her own law firm, her own, practice, shit like that. And even seeing how all of them, even in big, big, beautiful homes in the hills and all these multi-million dollar homes, just seeing how they budgeted, seeing how they spent, seeing how they didn't spend, seeing how they moved, seeing how they moved. It was very eye opening, very, very eye opening. And this is here in California, and so to see how the people, like, there's a reel that was going around with Cardi B, I think like last year, when she was complaining about the cost of groceries. And she said, people be like, but you rich. She said, exactly. I'm rich and I'm complaining. Y'all really should be complaining. She said, I have a weekly breakdown brought to me of my finances, of what's going out, what's coming in. And this is what the people with money are doing. This is what big companies and big corporations are doing, you know. And so there are a lot of people that it's a lot of smoke and mirrors out here, is what I'm trying to get across. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors out here. There are a lot of people that are not doing as well as one may think they're doing. There are a lot of people out here who are cutting a lot of corners. I've seen grocery shopping go down. I've seen stocks of food that was once, in here plentiful. And now, the food gets real low before they even go get a little bit more. And this is a couple, they're both attorneys, and it's just like, I've seen it. Something like that, right? Like from one year to the next, you see the cabinets, the pantries, the fridge, everything stays stocked. You see the grocery shopping happening a lot more frequently. The eating out happening a lot more frequently, and then boom, a few months later, you see all this going down, going down. The refrigerator is a lot more empty a lot longer now. The pantries are a lot more empty for a lot longer now. And these are in, like I just said, they say the stats are couples making 150,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. This is real. So, you know, um, I think it's very smart that even 10 years ago, when I started looking and when the tiny house movement really started growing enough to catch the attention of HGTV, I think it's smart for people to start looking at alternative living, because the cost of living is ridiculously high, unnecessarily. When we come from a life of owning our land, owning our home, but the people can't be owned and dictated and controlled when they own their land and they're farming their own land and they own their own life, right? So, we got ourselves here. It's going to be on us to get ourselves out. We wanted the conveniences. We wanted the conveniences. We were tired of farming. We were tired of living the slow life. We wanted all of these conveniences. Now that we got them, we didn't think about, we're going to have to pay for this, and we're going to have to keep paying for it. And we're going to have to pay for it not only with currency, but with our body and with our mind. We're going to have to pay for it with our life. We didn't think about that, you know? And those who did, like, we still talking about them. People still talking trash about them. Me included. People still talking trash about me. I don't care. I decided at 14, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to that's not paying for lights. That's not going to be my life. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to live where you say I should live. And after I got divorced, it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time before I got off that ship, because that was not for me in the first place. I'll do this while I'm married, and okay, it's fine. I would have done it for the rest of my life married. Divorced, I'm not doing it because I hated it before. And I was living very much alternatively before I got married. Very much so. I've never held a traditional life, so cheers to you. Yeah. Everything has its ups and downs. Everything has its pros and cons. There's no one who would trade my life, and I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't give it because my life was a deliberate choice that I made at 14, and I wouldn't want anyone else's life. But no one would trade my life. But I wouldn't trade it because my mind is very strong. I'm a thinker. I'm a critical thinker. You know, um, I'm a helper. I'm a servant, and there's nothing about me that I don't really just fucks with heavy. I I fucks with me the long way, heavy, 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 heavy. I really like me. I really like me. And that is for me the pro to having lived an alternative lifestyle my whole life. Meaning I've had to always figure out how to make it through adversity, because even just not living traditional and not working a traditional job for more than 2 years, like, that's going to come with some challenges. But I was for it because I wasn't for accepting what they were offering. I wasn't for that. I wasn't for that at all because I saw the trap in that. I'd rather be free. I'd rather be free because as long as I'm free, I can figure it out. But while I'm trapped, you're going to keep me so trapped and keep my mind so clouded and keep my body so busy and beat to where I'm not going to be able to figure it out. And by the time you let me go, I'm going to be old as hell greeting at Walmart checking your receipts. You know how long I've been looking at that? Since I was in my 20s. My heart has been crying for them 80-year-old Walmart greeters. My heart has been crying because I've had conversations with a couple of them in St. Louis. I was like, I can't not work. I can't afford to not work. In the United States of America. These are first world problems. So they worked, like they worked to take care of their family, they worked to have the savings, they worked for all that, put their kids through college, all this, they worked, they fingered to the bone, missed probably, once in a lifetime moments and memories with their kids, missed all kind of things because they had to be at work. Did that for 50 years, 60 years. And now you still got to, now you can't even sit down and kick your feet up. They take your whole life. But this is what we willingly traded. We willingly traded that. I can't even say they, because we willingly was like, yeah, yeah, I want that. I want that. I want what the Joneses got. I want that. I want what the big city folk got. I want that. Like the story of the fisherman. It's a story of a fisherman who, he just had his old little house, had his family, his wife, his kids, and he would go fishing every morning, get, a little bit, come back, spend all day with his family. He had everything he need, right? He owned his land, had everything he needs. So now here come this big city wig, right? Big city corporate dude. He come, oh, why don't you get a bigger boat? Get a bigger boat, you can go out deeper, you can catch bigger fish. And he was like, and what am I going to do with it? The fisherman, what am I going to do with it? And then you can do this and you can sell and flip. It's all about flipping, 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 making more and more profit, right? And then you just get bigger and bigger, and then you buy bigger land. And then he said, as it went on, this went on for like 40 years, right? Well, he's asking him more and more questions. So then he said, well, then you retire and you can spend time with your family. He said, I do that now. I do that now. I don't need a bigger boat. I don't need to go faster. I don't need to go further. I saved myself 40 years because you know what? I'm spending time with my family now in my good years while I can enjoy them. I don't need a bigger boat. I don't need to do all this and then go 40 years away. And then 40 years later when I'm old, decrepit, angry, you know what I mean? My mind ain't worth a damn. Now I can spend time with my family, but I'm doing that already. You see, so we've traded what the real what the real currency is for things and trinkets and more money and bigger houses that now is too overwhelming to clean. So now it's either pay money to have someone come clean it or just now it's just filthy. But we want it more and bigger and faster. And now, you have a lot of women who complain because they never get to see their husband. Well, somebody got to keep working to keep all this. Someone's got to keep it. You have to maintain it because you didn't want the electrician. You didn't want the dirty plumber. You didn't want the dirty truck driver who also could be making six figures a year, who could own his own thing, but he's got time to spend at home with you. He's got time to take you on nice dates. He's coming home at night, but you didn't want him. You didn't want that slow, comfortable, steady, secure life from a dirty electrician, you know? So we really got exactly what we asked for, but we didn't have the foresight to see what the consequences were and what that exchange was. What's the exchange for that life? What's the exchange for these faster, faster things? What am I going to have to give up? Okay, I understand it costs this much, but what else does it cost? It costs you your family. It costs you your mental health. It costs you your physical health. You know, if these things were told to you up front, would you trade it? You would realize that my health is the real currency. The fact that I get to live this slow lifestyle and really think about how I'm going to make these things happen. That's the real currency. The fact that I'm home when my children come home, that's the real currency. The fact that I can actually have the energy, the strength, the interest, the want to make my husband's lunch and prepare it for him so that he can go off to his job where he's just going to work and come back home and be with his family. That's the real currency. He works humanly hard enough to provide a nice life for us. And he um, honors me. He's faithful to me. He loves me. He loves our children. That's the real currency. He wants to come home. He doesn't want to be off traipsing around the country. He doesn't want to be on Wall Street. She doesn't want to have a career as big as his, because you can't have a career and be a good mother. And people hate to hear people say, women hate to hear people say that, but that is just what it is. You can't be a successful, great lawyer and a successful, great mother. You just cannot. And let's flip it. A man can't either. A man cannot be this multimillionaire businessman, mogul, and a good dad. It's just not possible. You can't be in two places at one time. It's physically not possible. So, a good man is one who has a, a job, a career, a trade that can afford his family and afford to keep his family comfortable. A good mother is one who wants to instill the education into her children, who wants to cook for her children, who wants to be home when they come home, who wants to, even better yet, homeschool her own children so she knows what's going in them and what's coming out of them, who wants to make sure that they're properly fed and bathed and nurtured and played with and talked to. And a good dad wants to have decent hours to where he can come home and also be told about these things and also talk to his children and also have a home cooked meal at dinner time at home. These are still real life situations that happen in rural parts of these United States of America. Those who didn't sell their life, their mind, their body for the faster, the more money, and the better this, that, and the third. This is still happening right now today in 2024. This is not some far off. Oh, that was 100 years ago. No, that was somebody's life yesterday. Today, they're probably going to have a great family weekend because guess what? He probably doesn't work on a weekend. He probably observes the Sabbath, so he definitely doesn't work on Saturdays. This is real. This is real, and that is an alternative lifestyle to what the mainstream is now. That is an alternative lifestyle, And I hear people, like, I follow some people who live that lifestyle, and they will refer to their modest 15 acres. My clients just paid 2.2 million for a one level house on a quarter acre that you like, where's the quarter acre? But the house is sitting on that quarter acre. And by the time they moved in, the value had gone down over $200,000. So see, you own 15 acres. Your wife's able to just walk outside and pick whatever vegetables. Oh, y'all have your own chickens and eggs. Y'all got goats. You produce 100% of what you eat. And these people refer to but they may not have money, right? They don't have stockpiles of money. But you mean to tell me an abundance of food because one potato that you let sprout is going to grow 6 pounds more of potatoes, right? So you mean to tell me to have an abundance of food on your own land, to be off grid somewhere? So how it's dark right now, they already shut down, the house shut down because they're not on the grid. That means they don't have electricity. They don't have running water. Or guess what? The husband dug a well. They have a well. They have well water. Have y'all ever had well water? I have. I got some family in the deep south. That shit is delicious. Okay. Okay. No chemicals is in that. You know what I mean? This that is wealth. So they may not have an abundance of money, but you know what? If the neighbors 3 miles or 5 miles away, and these country miles, right? So if the neighbors get sick, they got an apothecary of things they can take them. Or if they have a baby, they're bringing in a new addition. They got a whole garden, 3 acres of just food, and they can take them. Community. Community is essentially what I'm speaking of. We trade a community to be nuts to butts right on top of one another. House is right next door. Everything is right here. The walls are made out of cardboard. And this is what we traded because it's pretty and it's shiny and it's colorful. We got highways here and there, and we got busy skies full of pollution. You got the commercial planes, you got the rich people with their charter planes, and then you got them teaching their kids how to fly plane. You just got a busy sky. Just the sky is just constantly busy. And then we down here breathing in all of this. Convenient. So this is really, really, really what we wanted. We begged for this. Because that life right there that I just described that people still live, it's oppression for a woman to take care of her own family. That's oppression for a woman to stay home. That's oppression for a woman to cook for her own children. That's oppression, right? Like that's oppression. Women didn't want to be oppressed, so they want to go out and make their own money. So now when she gets divorced, it's hard on her. It's hard on her for. And like I said, I talk to a lot of these women. It's hard on her. And if she get divorced while the kids are still young, so now you're a single mother. But this is what we wanted, right? This is freedom. This is freedom. This is real life right here. This is the real life. So now you have more people in the workforce, more people to tax, more people to have to give mental illnesses to. Now you have women who are active mothers who admittedly claim they have mental illnesses. They have PTSD and this and that, but you're an active mother. You are an active mother and you are in charge of raising adults. Children are only children for the smallest point of our lives. Most of our lives as human beings are spent as adults, and most adults never figure out how to heal from the trauma of their childhood. This is real life. This is real life that we live right here in this first world country. This is real life that we are all familiar with. So no one's in any position to turn their nose up or look down at anyone, whether it's someone sleeping on the streets, sleeping in their car as a car in the back seat, in the front seat, with a bunch of bags in their car, if it's converted. No one in this country is in a position to turn their nose up or look down at anyone else because most adults die never having figured out how to heal from their childhood trauma. Most adults left their own traumatized child, back in that trauma and never thought to go back and get that child. They just thought they just got older and age. No, you can't even close your eyes. You can't even be in pure silence because that child is going to reach out to you and say, "Hey, why did you leave me here? Everyone abandoned me, including you." And it's just too much for most Americans to handle their own childhood trauma because we wanted this fast life. We wanted the city life. And now what are we doing? We're looking to slow life down again. Now we're looking to slow it down. Let me just slow life down. We looking to, but then you have a huge portion of people who they still don't want to go back completely, and it's just like you can't have anything two ways. You can't have anything two ways because think about it. You can have your cake and yes, you can eat it. That's the whole point of having cake, right? But you're going to have cavities. That ass going to get fat. You're going to have all kind of issues that's coming with constantly having that cake and constantly eating that cake. There are going to be side effects and consequences, and you're going to have to deal with them. But now we've popularized it. We got My 600-Pound Life. We have the trauma being popularized in reality TV. We've become so immune to our own pain that the smart people are now they have monetized it. The networks have monetized it. Um, Now you have social media where we are our own editors, producers, directors, and we're putting it out here. You have people who create their own trauma reels and trauma YouTube channels because that is what we're so addicted to and we want to watch. We want to see it. We see someone, we see the police, we pull out our phone. We see someone getting beat up, we pull out our phone. We're addicted. We are addicted to our human trauma, our human pain. We've seen so many dead bodies. We've seen so much trauma. We've seen so many kids endure trauma that our heart doesn't even cry out for the children anymore. Our heart doesn't even cry out for the children anymore. And these are first world problems. This is the United States of America, where people are now looking towards alternative lifestyles in ways that we've never seen before or never heard of before, or me being a reader and reader of old things, never heard of anything like these alternative methods that we're creating, that we're coming up with, you know. And it's sad for many, because for many it isn't, and it wasn't a cognitive choice. It wasn't a, um, I'm tired of that, so I'm gonna do this over here. And for many it was, I just want to pay off my debt so that I can buy a house. But I can't pay off my debt and pay rent. I can't pay off my student loans and pay rent in this first world country. I cannot do both. So, I'm going to give up my apartment and move into my car. That's what I was seeing a lot of in 2017. And isn't that sad? We're told that, oh, go to school, go to college, pay all this money for this degree just so you can be a cashier at Starbucks and never end up working in the field that you got this degree, but you still owe us that money, and now it's like, well, shit, how am I going to pay my rent and pay them back this money? One's got to go. And they going to get that money out of you. They're going to get that loan money out of you, right? So there was a lot of young women in their 20s that were moving into their car so that they can pay off their student loan. For them back then in 2017, it was in no way a permanent decision. It was strictly so that they can have the money to pay off their student loan. For me, I was in my 40s and I was like, I can do that because I was already looking at the tiny house. I got divorced in 2012. In 2013, I was like, I like that. And it was the mobile tiny homes that I really liked, those who put it on wheels because they were a nomad and they wanted to live a nomadic life. It's like, I like that. I like that. And then I saw the car dwelling and I was like, ooh, I love that because of the size. Because when I was looking at the tiny home situation, I'm like, it's got to be, it's got to be 100 square feet or less. It's got to be tiny. It's got to be tiny, 100 square feet or less, under 100 square feet. And this was where my mind was. I don't want a lot of space. I don't want a lot of space. I don't want it. 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 80 square feet, is I don't want a lot of space. I don't need it. And so that's where my mind was. And this is where we are, 2024. This is where we are in the United States of America, where we still look around the world and look down on people. And this is where we are right here in this country, you know. People people work working people can hardly afford to eat. Working people, working class people have to really think about the groceries they gonna buy. You know what I mean? Working class people have to really think about the miles they driving in this first world country. That's crazy. Good evening, good evening. That's crazy. But that's real life. That's the thing. That's real life. That is our real life. And every day, baby, we aging. Every day we have some sort of adversity that we have to maneuver around, that we have to adapt and adjust to or pivot from every single day. And there are a lot of barely functioning, mentally disabled working class people out here, that they really don't have the mental capacity to endure much, much more. And I'm not talking about um, anybody who's retarded. I'm talking about seemingly sane people, seemingly sane adults, but just because the nature of where our life is right now in 2024 in the United States, it's so mentally challenging. That's real life. So it would behoove anyone, no matter what your position in life is, no matter what your living situation is or your lifestyle is, it would behoove everybody to do what they can to mentally slow their life down so that at least and have at least have what I used to tell the women on my Discord, at least have one stream of income that you control 100%. 100%. That you control 100%. At least one that 100% is in your control, right? So if you're working with clients, whether it's commercial or residential or whatever it is, you're working with the public, and if you lose a client, it's on you to replace that client or not. But no one can say, you know what, I'm gonna just take this whole income from you, like with a job, you know. And then if that's your only job, now the first thing come rushing to your head is how you gonna pay your rent, how you gonna pay your car note, and this is just all a part of the lifestyle that we wanted. We wanted to have one income that we're dishing out all this money for. You got one income, but you got to pay rent or mortgage, you got to pay a car note, car insurance, you got to pay all the separate utilities, right? You have to buy groceries, you have to buy clothes for yourself. You have children, you got to buy clothes for them. How many children? You got to buy clothes for all of them, you know? Shoes for yourself and all of them, right? You have to buy personal women, you got to buy personal things for that. You got daughters? Oh, okay. They going to start bleeding around 12, 13. You got to buy for that. And all of this is coming out of one income that someone else controls. All of this is coming out of one income that somebody else control. That would stress any damn body out. Anybody. That would stress out anybody, you know? So it only makes sense to figure out a way to take back 100% control of certain pieces of your life. 100% control of certain pieces of your life so that you can slowly begin to control your own mind and think for yourself. And if you need to slow down the outside world so that you can think, you're able to do that. If you need to sit still and quiet things down so that you can breathe or read or just sit still and think, you're able to do that, you know, because Real life is real. And we have to chisel out some more feeling, right? Because we're numb. We're numb to the pain, we're numb to the trauma. But you got to chisel out that rough shell and get back to the flesh, and your heart and your organs and arteries and the blood flow, so that you can feel again, so that you can feel life, so that you can see what's happening in your life, and say, look, okay, let me slow down and take control, because when it's gone, and regrets is just a waste because it was all your choice. Just like with the movie Click, the Adam Sandler movie Click. I love that movie, and I love how he represented um, human beings' lack of accountability and human beings' total choice making and decision making with the remote control, right? So we just need to choose wisely, choose how we're going to spend our time and with whom you're going to spend your time with. Because once again, where's the real currency? Because time you cannot get more of. You can get more money, you can get more food, you can get more clothes, you can get another place to live, you can get another car, you can get another everything. Cannot get more time. You cannot get more time. When it's done, it's done. And you never know when it's going to be done. You never know when you leave, or when your kids leave, or when your husband or wife leave. You don't know if you're going to see them again. You don't know that, but we take for granted that we are. So we leave with the most horrible last words, or we constantly let our loved ones, the ones that are supposed to be the closest to us, we constantly let them down. We constantly break promises, constantly, because we just know it's going to be a tomorrow. We just know it's going to be. It's not until our life and our health is on the line that we decide, okay, something's got to give. It's only when our life and our health are on the line. That's it. That's it. Not even when people's marriages are on the line. Even that, because they feel like they're choosing this life of being busy over their spouse and their children so that they can have a better life. But again, the farmer knew, the little fisherman knew, look, I'm providing everything my family need, including me. My family needs me. They need time with me. They need me to be around. So I don't need a bigger boat. I don't need to go away from my family for 40 years just so when I'm old and decrepit, now I'm in their presence so that they can have to take care of me. They can't enjoy me and I can't enjoy them. He chose his family in his good years. He saw and knew where his wealth was in his good years. Why spend all that time making a family, choosing a wife, accepting a husband, saying, yes, I will marry you. Yes, I do. Yes, I will be the mother of your children. Why spend all that time making these choices just to say, you know what? I'd rather do what my boss say. I'd rather go here. I'd rather go hang out with my girlfriends. Oh, it's girls' night. Why? Why? Because that argument when you said that foul shit to your loved one, you didn't expect a drunk driver to come running a red light and hit your car, or hit your teenage driving child's car. This is real life, and it's not to be worried about these things happening. It's to be present enough to where if they do happen, you don't have regrets, because you were present in your life. You were present. You thoughtfully didn't say foul shit to your children and your spouse. You thoughtfully were your mind was always where your physical body is. You thoughtfully were always in the present moment, giving your all in the present moment with those that you love the most. So when these things happen, you're not fucked up and filled with regret of the last horrible word you said, or the promise that you broke, or you know seeing that child's face when you came in late and they were like, it's okay, I knew you weren't going to show up anyway. you know Hearing that disappointment, hearing your children tell you that they knew you were going to let them down. You don't have all this because you're present. Your mind is always where your physical body is, so you don't have to worry about these things. I'm just pointing out the fact that this is real life. This is real life. And we didn't see 2024 back in 1908. We didn't expect that this would ever be like this. We just knew that we wanted a more convenient life. We just knew that we wanted a faster life. We wanted to be in the city. We wanted to be closer to I'd rather go to the laundromat, or instead of washing on whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. But now it is 2024, and we see that we're not the Jetsons. you know it isn't like that. And the cost of all these conveniences are really a lot. It's a lot on my mind, it's a lot on my bank account, and I gotta constantly be gone away from home. I mean, I'm hearing I'm be hearing kids with their parents dropping them off at school at 6 something in the morning, little ones, already dressed and out of the house, and being dropped off at 6:35, and being picked up at 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. What kind of life is that? It's the life we wanted. This is the life we wanted. And not only that, but it's a rush because, the dad got to, come on, hurry up, let's not play around because he got a 7 o'clock meeting, or, the mom, and, it's just all kind of scenarios. All kind of scenarios. They on the phone having meetings already. They already, and I hear the kids talking, and the mom, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it'll go right back to, and it's not a girlfriend conversation. This is business. This is a business call that she's on. This isn't a girlfriend. She ain't gossiping. This is a business call. This is the life that we wanted because it was oppression for women to be at home nurturing her own children. That was oppression. That set women back 50 years, because you got to be at home living now what they're calling the soft life. Oh, now it's a soft life. Oh, what happened to oppression? Now it's a soft life to have a man who's able to work and pay all the bills, because now it's 2024. So he may be able to be a cyber something and create these online businesses, and making more than the attorney, right? So he's able to be around, and now you get to live the soft life. But in these cases too, it's still sacrifice because the women was there from the beginning, when he had to put in all these hours, when you got to build. Everything's a process. So it's it's a blessing to be a supportive woman to a supportive man, and vice versa. It's a blessing to be. You know what I mean? So This is real life. This is real life, and we're not getting any younger. So we definitely have to get smarter because that's something that we can do. We can get smarter. We can get smarter. We can become more thoughtful. We can become more intentional. That is something we absolutely can do, and I just believe that we should, because the powers that be who are not going back. Like once we decided that this is the life that we want, they're not going to turn back. They're not going to say, "You know what? We'll let you go back to how, ever slow you want to live." No, you're going to have to take your own freedom. One thing I say, freedom is free. The only thing it costs is courage and bravery. And if you're courageous enough and brave enough to think for yourself and take your own freedom, freedom is free. What it costs is courage. That's what it costs. But to live the life, the traditional life or the conformity life, that that costs. That's not free. It costs you your mind. It costs you your health. It costs you your precious time that you cannot get more of. It costs you your life. It costs you your family. It costs you everything. Absolutely everything. And then they feed you pills that they got so many side effects. They say the shit so fast in the commercials at the very, very end that you ain't even hear the shit until they say, and possibly death. What? What? Okay, so I got this ailment or this something, and the side effect could be hearing loss, uh, eyesight loss, vision loss, uh, blood clots, and possibly fatal. What? For a headache? I swear, as a teenager, they used to crack me up. They used to crack me up because when they get to the side effects, boy, they get a speed talker on there and they brrr through them side effects and they slow down just enough to hear and may cause death. You sure right. You sure right. You sure right. You sure right. I think I'll pass. I think I'm good, Chuck. I'll try it on my own. I'm gonna stay on my own, Chuck. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need that. And then they're gonna prescribe another pill uh, to counter the side effects from that pill. So now you got a cabinet full of goddamn pills, and then they got the pill bottles Monday through Friday. I mean, I'm sorry, uh, Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week. You got 5 pills in here, 7 days a week, baby, baby. This is our life. These are first world, real life, living in the United States of America situations. So um, we all have a choice, and even to say you don't have a choice, that's a choice. That's a choice that we're making. And once again, that's what I love about how Adam Sandler did the movie Click, because he used the remote control to represent how we choose. He chose to fast forward through these points that he wanted to rush through quickly with his family. He chose to fast forward through this. He chose, we make choices. So anytime, every choice we make is a choice, and we need to be aware of that, and we need to take ownership of that. We need to take full responsibility of that, and then make choices that you can be proud of. Make choices where your mind can be where your physical body is. Make those choices. So instead of, as Zig Ziglar used to say, instead of being a wandering generality, be a meaningful specific. You know what? I'm not going to work that overtime because I am going to show up at my son's game. I am going to go to my daughter's practice. I'm not going to work that overtime because you know what? I promised my spouse this, or I promised myself this. You know what? I'm not going to do that because I've been dropping the ball over here. So this is what I'm going to choose. And when you're there physically, be there mentally. Wherever you are physically, be there mentally. You'll get more out of it. You'll get a hell of a lot more out of it. Hey, She and She Collective. Good evening. I'm so glad that I found your channel. You helped me to see that van dwelling was entirely possible for me. And I just bought my own mobile mansion today. She tripping. That's what's up. Congratulations. 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 That is awesome. That's very awesome. Mhm. Once again, be very thoughtful about your movements and your whereabouts and how you are going to uh, start off this new lifestyle and life journey. Yeah, that is really, really, really awesome. Congratulations, because like I said, alternative living is not going anywhere. Is not going anywhere. I see more and more people who are going to want to take control over their own life and their own finances and their own dwelling place. hmm And from there, it's just going to continue to be their own income, and just continue to grow from there because we're not sheep. We're not sheep as much as I dead ass jokingly about saying sheeple. We're not sheep. We can figure out how to live on our own. We can figure out how to make our own income. We can figure out, you know what I mean? Because if we just make sure we have everything we need, we're going to have everything we need, you know? We're going to have everything we need. Everything. Anything I need at the moment I need it, God come through and drop it right in my lap, right in my lap. And I never, ever, 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 ever worry. There's never a worrying anything that flows through me because I know that right there, because if it's coming inside of me, it's going to block God in me from being able to work for me. You know what I mean? I never worry about anything. I don't care if I'm down to my last $10. If I know I'm down to my last $10, that means God know I'm down to my last $10. That means God know I'm gonna need more money to come in. Here come a new client. Here comes a new client. Look at that. Right here come it never my whole life has always proven it never fails. So I do see more people are going to choose to think for themselves and live an alternative lifestyle and figure out their life because one thing people that do become mobile dwellers realize is all the stuff and the expenses that we had trying to live traditionally and conform to what society says. We don't need all that to even be comfortable, much less to feel abundant. But you don't need all that. So now your expenses are going to be much, much, much lower. So you don't even need to bring in as much money. So now you can breathe and control your own income, So it's just, I'm very excited for you. I'm very excited for you. And I just know as long as you don't worry and you um, just speak life and think positive of yourself and to yourself and for yourself about every situation, that it's nothing is going to break you. Nothing is going to break you down. Nothing is going to break you down. But the same way, when you sharpen a dull knife, like you gotta shave off some of them old metal shavings, gotta come off when you sharpening the knife. And I'm saying that to say challenges are going to come. That's what makes us sharper. Challenges are going to come because we have to constantly learn how to solve problems. We have to always be problem solvers. It's not always going to be perfect, but you can always choose to speak life. You can always choose to think positive. You can always choose to know this adversity is so that you can get stronger in whatever areas you need. So I don't need to worry. I just need to, this is a problem to solve. Okay, I like that. I like that. This is a problem to solve. That's all it is, no more, no less. That's it. It's a problem that I need to solve, which means my mind needs to be sharpened, which means my sensibility to adversity needs to be sharpened. Like I need to not feel so, if something happens, I don't need to feel so, I can just be easy about it. Like, okay, this happened. I got to solve it. Like it's not a big deal. Okay, and these things are all working for you. So as long as you keep all that in mind and just always think life, speak life, and think positive and speak positive, it'll be just fine. And this is a promise. It will absolutely be just fine. But again, challenges are going to come. They're meant to. They're meant to. It's life. It's life. We got to get better. We got to get sharper. We have to get stronger. Our belief, our faith has to get stronger. If you never, the best time, like the absolute best time is that first day when you 100% after having a cold or a flu. That is the best. Am I lying? When you're not, when you 90 or 75, but that first day when you're 100% after having a cold or a flu, that's the best day. That's the best day because that you appreciate abundantly. You appreciate it abundantly. That first day at 100%. But if you never, ever, ever been sick, you don't know what you can't fully appreciate being well. You can't fully appreciate being 100% well. It's because you were sick. That first full day at 100%, baby, you feel like a brand new person. You feel like a brand new person. You just feel like you can conquer the world. That's life. That's life. Just remember that. When you bite your tongue, you don't cut your tongue out or break all your teeth out. It happens. It happens when you bite your lip. You don't cut off one or the other. It happens. It happens. That's life. That's just life. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. Don't take it as any more than that. Don't take it for any less than that. It's just life. That's it. And every aspect of life is working in your favor. Every single aspect of life is always working in your favor. That's it. That's all. So that's really all. That was my real life, real talk. Um, that's all I wanted to share with y'all. So I really appreciate everyone who supports my channel and the videos and watch the videos. I love that so much. Bless you, beautiful soul. I saw your sessions about how you operate your business from your van. a week ago and knew I could make She Witchy Wellness a mobile therapy space. Thank you, sis. You are welcome. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. So, just keep watching the videos. I appreciate everybody who watched all the way to the end. YouTube really appreciates that. It helps my videos to go out more and more and more. Comment, like, I love reading all your comments. I heart your comments. I reply back to your comments. Um, if I feel it's necessary to reply back, but I acknowledge every single comment and I appreciate y'all so much. And uh, if you're not subscribed, if you're a viewer but not a subscriber, subscribe to your girl. Subscribe to your girl. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. And just putting this out there, if anybody want to further help the channel, you can click the link in my bio. You can buy me a hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee, but you can buy me a hot chocolate. I appreciate that. I drink those every single day. And I look forward to getting to 1,000 subscribers. I look forward to growing this channel and just growing in my life as well. So, thanks for tuning in to this live. If you watch the replay, if anybody see this replay and watch it to the end, what's up? Thank you for watching and y'all have a great night. Happy March. Happy new month. Peace.